Hi, Duffs. I'm going to try and record this for you. This is a video on creating embossing folders and embossing mats on any electronic cutting machine that you can use then to basically create your own embossing folders. It doesn't necessarily have to be a folder though, so I'll try and explain that as I go through. Okay. Right, excuse the sorry state of my craft room. Right, what I have here on my mat is a piece of cereal box. Cereal box is better, okay, because it's tougher. So I'm going to stick that to my mat. Alright, so I'm just going to pause this for a minute. Okay, carrying on. Right, so it's now stuck to my mat. The rest of it I'm not too bothered about. Now, excuse the tip of the craft room. This file here is the one that I am going to send to my cutting machine. I rather fancy that as an embossing shape. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am now going to set this up to cut in my machine. Okay, this is one of Bird's cards. It's a card cover 13 by Bird. Okay, so I'm going to stop this again and get everything else set up. Okay, Duffs, I'm going to send this to cut. Okay, notice that let's get right in here. I don't know if you can see the numbers on this. My force is really very high. Okay, I'm only doing one cut. You may need two. Alright, but my machine's somewhat stronger than yours. Okay, so I'm going to send it to cut. And here's my machine, cutting out Bird's card. Okay, I'm hoping that this isn't too bright. Don't forget, my machine DAP is also a lot faster than your Cameo. Alright, it deals with this with ease. Okay, so that's one. Let's get it out. Now, there's two ways that you could do this. Alright, one is you could place glue just around the design here. Okay, around the edges where it's been cut. Alright, or you could place glue around the outside of it and the inside of the curves. Alright, and then you could stick a piece of card on top and let it set. Then when you peel the card away off the top, it will peel away whichever one of the two layers that you have stuck down. So I'm just very carefully need to one-handedly peel this away so that you can see that this design is now cut out of cereal packet. Okay, but in itself this isn't very thick, which is why I need you then to do exactly the same. By the way, the reason that I said to stick the shiny side down, the printed side, is this is very textured and very loose actually, and if you put that onto a very sticky mat, you're going to end up with lots of grey fibres sticking to your mat. The printed side's a lot smoother, so it's not going to leave loads of bits behind. So what you need to do now is you need to actually cut another one of these in exactly the same way as you did the first one. Okay, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, Duffs, so what I've got now are two identical, and I do mean identical, shapes cut out of cereal box. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run one of these through, and then you'll see why you actually need to use two of them. Okay, so I keep having to pause this and restart, but it's because I can't hold the blooming camera and record at the same time. Okay, because I've got one hand tied up with the camera and one trying to keep this in focus. Right, so just bear with me a minute and I will get my happy out. Right, okay. This is the one set of chipboard. Right, you see it's only one, it's flimsy. Okay, this is not my happy. I lied. I'm sorry. This is Big Shot Pro. It arrived today. So I'm busy having a play. So what I've got is I've got my piece of chipboard, a piece of mirri, embossing mat. Okay, let's make sure I get somewhere in the right region, and big plate. Okay, so let's push that into the drawers, pop all my fingers around, and boy, what's going on? Oh, it's because the tray aren't lined up. And done. There. Right, let's try that. Okay. And wind it through. Come on. Here we go. Alright, now, I don't know if you can see, some of the design has actually pressed through on the rubber mat. So, let's take it off. There's the one piece. Here's the mirri. Let's get you off. Come on. Off you come. Okay, let's see what we've got. Alright. Okay. You can see that there is some emboss on here. Okay. But that's leaving marks from the mat. So, I rub the marks away with my fingers. As you can see, we haven't really got a huge emboss going on here. It's only very, very faint. Alright. Now obviously this isn't going to be good enough on a pattern card stock or something like that, or if you want to sand it back and expose a core. So, next one that I'm going to show you is going to be with two of these stuck together. Okay, this is one, I promise. Okay, so we now want two of them stuck together, and that will make a difference. Alright. Okay, I'm hoping that the last piece managed to save, because I went and did something stupid called forgetting to press pause. So I'm going to put this big mat over the top again, pull it towards me, and at the same time try and get this to go through while recording. There we go. So this is now two pieces glued together. Alright, now as I lift this off, you can see there's a tiny bit of glue on the mat there, which is exactly what I want to happen. Okay, because it's giving it a really good squish. Okay, so here is the piece. Right, now it probably doesn't look as though it's done too much, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that, same as I did first time round, on there. Then I'm going to place a piece of silver mirri on top, and then I'm going to put the rubber shim on top of that, and then the plate, and this might be harder to do this time. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, you can definitely see that shape popping through that mat now. Okay, so let's peel all this off. There's my mask. Okay, and come on, off. Okay, now here is the emboss. Okay, now if I put the other one on the top, you can't tell much difference, but there's more of a ridge here than there is here. Alright, that one's quite narrow, this one's quite defined. I could sand this one, this bottom one, which is 2, I could sand this one back, but I couldn't sand this one back because there's not enough raised for me to be able to get a good grip on it. Okay, so I'll sand them back or try to, and show you what I mean. Alright, hold on. Okay, just sanded these two back. This is the one emboss. Okay, you can see it. Alright, bearing in mind this is on mirri. And this is number 2 emboss. Can you see the nice clean lines around it? It really is a lot more raised, and you can tell, I think, with looking at them on the mirri. One's more pronounced than the other one. Okay, So that basically, Daff, is, you can see the rest of the design. There's one very thin one, and there's the much more pronounced one, and that's using 2 layers. Now you can of course use 3 if you want. You're just going to have to adjust your sandwich mixes, but that's what they mean by making embossing folders on a cutting machine. Okay, that you can cut it out of rubbish cardstock, make 2 or 3 layers, give it a good squish, I would recommend, through an embossing machine to squash it all back down, and you can make things that you can use in your everyday crafting, whether it's one of your own designs or whether, like this one here, which is one of Bird's cards bases, that will give you what you want. You can make these as complicated or as simple as you like. Okay, right, Duffs, I'm gonna go. I hope you understand this, and I'll put it up on the wall. Alright, bye.